really does work well because this one here used it on me.
Was it about the
I don't like confrontation at all, so I avoid it. And one of the ways that I avoid it is by changing the subject. And so she tells me, when she told me just what, last week or 2 weeks ago, it's just like this. When you change the subject, I feel not important. Well, what I'm doing is either avoiding a confrontational argument, or I may have already seen what she's saying, and I'm like, oh yeah, you're right, and I'm done. I'm like, yeah, that's a good point. Okay, and I've moved on. I don't want to continue in it, but to her it feels like I'm done. I shut it down. It's over, and she doesn't feel like she's expressed herself.
The thing is, she's moved on. I haven't. We haven't discussed it. She's one of those people that self-improving all the time.
Yeah.
So she'll read something, do something, go through her healing, and she's done.
And I bet you need a lot of closure, right? Like, I want to solve this, and we're done, and check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just one of those, yeah.
I didn't realize I was doing that, and I didn't realize that that's how it felt to her. She made a statement like this.
So this really works well for you guys to do this. Yeah, and there are people, I mean, we all have different amounts of closure we need on a relationship. Some of us want to have a 4-hour discussion and it's by length that we know the topic is over. Some of us want an action plan and that's how we know it's over. But I would encourage you to tell the person kind of what you need, which is, sweetheart, I don't want to spend a long time talking about this because I know it makes you antsy, but what I need to hear from you is that we're going to find the answer and we'll come up with that in the next 10 minutes. If you have somebody that's really anxious about talking to you, like somebody who's afraid of conflict, and that's really common, put a time limit on your conversation. They love that because they know the torture's going to end in 5 minutes. and that gives you 5 minutes to get it out. Not that I want you to not tell them what you're thinking, but I really want you to condense it because for them it's painful to listen every minute that you go on.
But then how, if you're not done,
Yeah, exactly.
how do you just say, okay, 5 minutes, well, that's 5 minutes then, now we go back to 45 minutes another time?
I would say to you, take your novel that you want to transmit to them and condense it to a poem. Because at the end...
that means they win.
No. You both want to win.
Relationship about winning.
Because how long is somebody listening to you, do you think, if you're telling them something for 60 minutes?
Maybe 5.
More like 15.
4 to 5 minutes? So do you want to save the meat of your content, what you really want to tell them, for the 42nd minute when they're not listening anyways? Or do you want to tell them at the time they're actually listening? You win that way. And it's not so much about winning, it's about us both coming up with a good way to feel. I know we want to win, but okay, I will tell you now that you're going to win if you follow that strategy. So you get my endorsement of winning. Feel good about that? Or you can email me and I'll say, sounds like you did a good job.
And if you have the need to have to keep going so that you can get it out of your system, there's another way to do it.
There's tons of ways. Has anybody tried? Okay. You could write it down. You could write an email to a friend. You can write a letter to the person who's, making you upset and crumble it up and throw it away. You can go outside and stand in the backyard. No, I'm just I would not advise screaming because the other person's likely to hear you. Exercising, kickboxing, getting that out some other way. The truth of the matter is, whatever you're fighting about, if it can't fit into 5 minutes, you're fighting about too many things at one time. Okay? This is not the opposite. If you're fighting for more than 5 minutes, you're fighting about more than one thing. So you're bringing too much in for the person to solve anyways. So stick to one issue at a time.
So go sit in your car and curse for 5 minutes.
Yeah, 5 minutes is the golden rule.
No, so go sit in your car and curse to yourself and then get out. You'll feel better.
Yeah, if that works for you, I'm totally okay with anything that doesn't involve hurting anybody, anything else, any animals. Just go outside. If you want to take a walk down to the corner and start screaming at the freeway, I just can't believe what happened. I mean, sometimes we just need to vent the energy. And then we're calm enough to come back and say what we want. Okay, let's move on a little and then come back to the questions at the end. Not that I don't love you and want to ask you, I just want to make sure I tell you everything. Or almost everything. Okay, last point on talking is 5 things to avoid. Okay, and these are 5 big no-nos. So, please do not guess what your partner is feeling. They really don't like that. Don't guess what they're thinking. They also don't like that. Don't label, criticize, and judge your partner. Nobody likes to be told they're stupid, they're insensitive, they're wrong. they have bad judgment, they're forgetful. So if you use those words when you're talking to somebody, that's like an off switch, okay? They're gonna stop listening immediately. Also, commanding people. You need to do this right now. Nobody really needs to do a lot. So please don't use that kind of language or make commandments. We just tend not to respond well to that. And if you can avoid it and try to say it in another way, it's going to work out so much better for you. And if you want help on twisting some of those statements around, I can help you with that. So feel free to email me if I didn't happen to get to you today.